Hey guys, and welcome to this month's edition of sLibations. This is our second episode doing this, and I'm really proud to say that it seems like this is something people are interested in and want to see a little bit more growth and more ideas that are to come. So this month we have Leland Isley as our guest. He is our guitar player of Miss Mack and the Daddies, and a badass one if I may say so. And so off of the same type of dealer choice ideas and the things that he likes and dislikes, I thought the perfect cocktail for him this time would be the frozen daiquiri. Now again, these are mocktails, so it is a virgin recipe, but I think that this is something that's really easy and tangible for you guys to be able to do at home. So let's check in with Leland, shall we? Hey, welcome Leland. How are we doing today?
Doing great. It's a great Saturday morning. I'm glad it's springtime finally. Not springtime, fall. One of those seasons that are not 105-degree days in Texas.
I think in Texas it's okay to say it's just not summer at this point. That's pretty much like, oh, it's not summer out of the 9 months of the year. Cool. Today, as I've told you guys earlier, that we'll be making a frozen virgin daiquiri for Leland. As we move through this process and kind of go through that dealer's choice idea with each bandmate, this was one of the cocktails I decided on because of some of the dietary restrictions he has, some of the simplistic way he likes to enjoy a beverage or foods is the best way to say that, I guess. And kind of falling into the same realm of, before COVID and when we were together as a band and we got to catch up, from what I remember, one of your last vacations was in Mexico, right?
Yeah, we went to Mexico City to celebrate my wife's birthday.
That's awesome. Yeah, I know that it's a cool thing to kind of like look back at some of the things you were able to do beforehand. And so when I first originally heard that, I was like, oh, perfect. Within the parameters of kind of low sugar, low salt, not too adventurous with herbs and spice flavors. I thought this was kind of that perfect cocktail where you get to relax in a vacation and feel like you're, back on a beach or back on a patio, just relaxing with the family. So with that in mind, I wanted to go about making this frozen daiquiri the way that would be health conscious. So let's talk about infusions. This is a very simple infusion, and it's just using water. I think this is a way to add flavors without adding extra calories or adding extra sugars other than the citrus or the fruits that you're already going to be using. Utilizing every bit of that is really important. Here we're going to just be using pineapple, a little bit of orange rind. For this particular batch, in this carafe, I used about a half of the orange rind in there and about a quarter of the pineapple. Nothing too much, just enough so that you can pick up the flavors. As you see, it's kind of fully infusing the water itself. And I would say no more than 24 hours is when you want to have this kind of steeping. Fruits that are porous are going to work out a lot better because it's going to be able to penetrate the fruit and kind of extract those flavors. And then the rind will start to make it bitter. So you don't want it to go over 24 hours before you either strain it out or enjoy it or use it for this cocktail. A lot of the things that we're using today, it's very simple, but adding those extra flavors in ways of like infusing a water, which we've talked about, and using just these sugars naturally coming from the fruits or the juices, more so than added sugar. All right, folks, so let's talk about sugars a little bit, shall we? So sugar's not bad, right? We talk about, the addition of sugar is where it really gets to add up. For instance, looking at these frozen strawberries, the total sugar amount is 7 grams for a cup of strawberries. The total added sugars are 0. So what's coming from these are natural sugars from these fruits. That's what we want to look for, right? When we're adding that level of sugar to a particular cocktail, when you taste this, there's going to be plenty of sweetness to it. There's going to be plenty of sugar content for your body to feel like you're getting something out of that. Now, the added sugars is really where that starts to add up. The sweet and sour margarita mixes or daiquiri mixes that you buy at the Star, those are loaded with sugar. And so what you really want to do here is play with these natural flavors to really allow that sweetness to be present, but not overbearing, and also not really bad for your health either, as long as you're being conscious about how much you're actually drinking. I want to ask each person here that I have on this show is, do you abstain from drinking, or is this just something that you wanted to try?
No, I don't. I don't drink at all. Well, I could maybe count on one hand the amount of alcoholic beverages I've had in my lifetime. It's just not a frequent thing for me at all. And it's for no particular reason other than I just never got used to the taste. It just doesn't work for me.
Yeah, flavor, hangover, either of those are usually kind of that reason as why people abstain from it. And but I understand that it is a social thing. I think that's one of the understandings of COVID time is that a lot of people realize that when they're home they still kind of want a beverage, but most of the time they have that in a social atmosphere. So it's kind of like, well, how can I still feel like I'm engaging with somebody with having something in my hand without it being an alcoholic beverage? I think that's why mocktails are really cool. And I think depending on the situation or the type of atmosphere you're trying to build, not always relying on alcohol is a great way to do that. For something in this nature, in Texas, as we said before, it's hot 9 months out of the year, So for us to have a frozen virgin daiquiri in the middle of October, that's totally fine with us because it's still 90 degrees on any given day. So you might want to be on the patio and just kind of have that like moment of escape. So, all right, let's go to the cocktail. So I have you over there, Leland, with your thing. So we'll be able to do this together so we can kind of show the fans just how easy this may be.
This needs to be really easy because since I don't drink, I have never, ever in my life made a cocktail. So I'm like, you got to go easy on me. Yeah. I am a cocktail making virgin.
Yes, the virgin cocktail. It's great. It works perfectly. And for you folks at home, as we move forward in this segment each month, they are going to start to build more complexities. So in the next following months, you'll start to see a lot more infusions, a lot more kind of tedious workarounds, but I think that are really cool because it'll be bar-like for you. So, all right. So first we're going to start by adding the 2 cups of frozen strawberries to the blender.
All right. I'm a little shy. 1 second. I'll be right back.
Well, you get some more ingredients. I just wanted to talk again about the added sugar part of this. It's not only about making a mocktail. This program that I'm trying to present is more about also being health conscious. When we put something in our body, it should be for a purpose or a reason and not just to, binge out and have a beverage. So if we do that and we feel like we want to splurge on having a nice beverage while we're at home, might as well make it as, health conscious as we can. I think that's a really, really cool thing to kind of pay attention to here.
All right, good to go.
Cool. So now we have 3/4 cup of both the infused water, which we talked a little bit about, which is pineapple and orange zest. And then we also have an orange and mango orange juice. So equal parts on this. What you want to do, just so that we can get a little bit of liquid in there right now, add about half of each.
Okay.
Perfect. And that gives you just about enough liquid so that when you start to blend, it'll start to, break everything up in there. What we're going to start to do after this is we're going to slowly start to pulse the blender so that we can get it to kind of like start to break up. Once we do that, we're going to slowly start adding some more liquid as we continue to blend. So that way we can kind of get that tunnel pocket happening in the center where everything's going to start to emulsify and blend together really well. So you always want to make sure you have some liquid as you're adding to kind of keep that going and you're not just overrunning the motor or not mixing the cocktail. So with that being said, it's about to get loud. So please enjoy this Mack Daddy music in the meantime.
All right.
Cool. And a way to check that too, if for some reason you weren't able to get it blended up right, As you saw, it didn't take much, just adding those couple of spoonfuls and probably about a half cup of those liquids helped. And when you pull it out, the texture should be enough that it's runny, but it's not going to just be super viscous or water-like. You do want a little bit of texture with this because you want it to be able to sit in the glass for a little bit as you sip on it and not just become a liquefied beverage right away. So then we're just going to take that, use one of our fancy glasses, and we're going to pour that in there. Now, some of you may say, you know, what's the difference between this or a smoothie? And you're right, there's not much of a difference. With a traditional smoothie, though, you are going to add some kind of fat. So you're going to add a yogurt or milk or something in that nature to kind of thicken it up. This is a traditional daiquiri, except for you're excluding the alcohol. This is why I'm taking such care in infusing liquids with particular fruits and citrus. Adding mint to this would be fantastic. Leland's not a huge fan of mint, so I didn't do that here, but absolutely do that. I think that would add a little bit of greenness to it. Overall, blend those flavors together. And if you really want to be on a beach, you know, add a little bit of a salt rim or like a spicy salt rim. I think that would be awesome on here too as well. But because of this being kind of closer to a smoothie, it's all about the glassware, right? It's all about making it look pretty and this beautiful little garnish, which is just the pineapple top. All right, so we've cut into the pineapple here and I'm ready to discard the pineapple top. However, I do want to talk about how you can utilize the pineapple top, especially for these mocktails. If we're trying to make these for our friends or family or actually make them look a little bit more like they're coming from a bar, you can actually use these as garnish. These pineapple leaves just come off real easy. Basically, all you do is give them just a slight tug and then you'll see that there's actually this really nice kind of multi-layered colored pineapple leaf. There's a little bit of residue on there, so basically what I like to do is just get it, run it under water for just a quick second and dry it off, and it'll come out with a nice vibrant green, and it's a really, really awesome garnish. So you just want to go ahead and kind of slide that in there so that it kind of reaches the bottom and just a little bit of it hangs out, and you have yourself a perfect little virgin daiquiri to enjoy on your patio.
Is this a flavor item or is it just decorative? It's just
decorative, and for the most part, you know, this is that tiki type of drink. You know, you just want to add a little bit of flair on there so that you're not just, again, drinking a smoothie. Like you're drinking a virgin daiquiri and you're kind of adding an element to it that is just kind of nice to have and presenting in that sense. So, yeah.
Right. So do we know why this became a thing to have the pineapple leaf in the daiquiri? Is that...
I personally love them. I think that for me, it's always about using all of the products that you have available to you, right? And so since I've infused pineapple and orange into this water, do I use an orange line or orange like wheel? Do I use a pineapple cube on a toothpick? Or do I use a pineapple top, right? So there's different options. There's different ways that you could garnish this. For me, I just think the contrast of the green with the red is just really kind of a very vibrant color scheme. So that's just the creative part of being kind of a bartender too, right? Is like, how can I make this pop? How can I make somebody, you know, if this was on a server tray walking through a restaurant, that somebody would be like, oh, what's that? I want that. And that's usually that final touch, right? Same thing with music. You know, you really want that final touch, that lasting note, that hit at the end that's really going to pop and make those people be like, wow, that was such a clean finish. That's a great band. Same idea with the beverage.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Cool. Well, Leland, I appreciate your time with us this afternoon and hope that you enjoy this mocktail here with your wife. Again, this recipe does make 2 cocktails or more, so that way that you can share this with somebody else. Thanks for tuning in, guys, and hopefully we'll see you next month. Cheers.
Next month.
Hey, thanks again for joining us this month for Lauren's Libations. Don't forget, hit subscribe down below in order to see the rest of the segments that will be coming up, and follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Mack Daddy Music. That's MackDaddy Music. Have a good one.
That's really good.